Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. A couple weeks ago, I did a video featuring this Thankful Garden Suite collection. It's an online exclusive that was released in March. And I was looking over my videos and thought, well, why not step those cards up a little bit? But before I show the cards again, I'll link to the video in the video description here. But this is a nice sweet collection. You get the stamp set. It is photopolymer. And you know what? There are masks that go with this too, by the way, that I didn't bring out, but I do have them. Then you get these great die cuts. You get these two standalones here. All of these will cut out all the images in here in the stamp set. And then in the designer series paper as well, you get this real thin, fresh freesia. It's kind of velvety ribbon. And those are my leftover scraps. And then you get these little sequin dots. And the colors in this sweet collection are, a lot of times the catalog, if they're in the catalog, will say one thing, but you always want to check the back. It gives you all the colors. And plus you can, see a couple more use in here too. But they're basic black, blueberry bushel, crushed curry, garden green, fresh freesia, and melon mambo. And I've taken apart this pretty well, so I might have to go over both sides of that. I mean, good patterns. We're going to be using, I think, that one today. And that's the opposite. That one's really pretty too. And then this here you can color in. And then we have a die cut. I'll cut that out. And there's the flip side. And then this side here and that there. So I'm going to pull in those cards real quick and show you what we made and what we're going to make today. Well, this is what we're going to make today. Oh, my thingy came off. I guess I didn't press it down hard enough. We are going to make this adorable, super, super cute little box, or it's a bag. It can be a treat bag of anything that you want. And this is a paper pumpkin tissue paper. But I did a video, on oh, that's the inside. I did a video on this, like I said, 4 weeks ago, and I put in here 4 envelopes and 4 cards in that big old thing of tissue paper. And I'm going to re-put them back in here for you. Look how much room you have. You can easily do 8 to 10, depending on the bulk. And this is a nice size little purse. Not little purse, it's a good size purse. And it's going to hold a lot. So this measures, okay, one more time. 6 inches across, okay. And it's 4 3/4 tall. At the handles, you're looking at 9 inches. And then the width is going to be 2 1/4. It's big box or purse, whatever you want to do with it. And the depth is going to be about 4 5/8, pretty close to 4 3/4. Super, super easy to decorate, even easier to make. Okay, so with this one, I used our cardstock and then cut designer series paper, made it really, really sturdy. And then for this one here, I'm pulling in, it's off to the side, if I can get it in. I tied the bow on the wrong side. This one is made out of designer series paper, but I did put the handles with, they're reinforced with our regular cardstock. I think that this isn't as sturdy, but you can put very lightweight things in here, like a pair of socks or something like that. This would be a great candy bag, something to get flowers in, lots of possibilities. And this one is big. I'm trying to look for something that you can fit in here, and I can't do my phone, but if I put it way up here, see, I could fit my phone in there. So that is what we are looking like so far. So what I'm going to do is teach you how to make this box here. And all you're going to need is a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock and then designer series paper. And then you want to cut a piece of 3/4 inch by 11 for one of the handles there. Because we are going to cut this down to, let me move everything out of the way here. Oh, I'll get back to that in a minute. So this is 12 by 12, all right. I'm gonna take a quick peek to make sure that you can see because, yeah, I think we're doing good. This is so much easier for me in a voiceover. Okay, so we got 12 by 12. You wanna cut it down to, let's flip this over because that's kind of a wrinkle side. To 11 inches, okay, so you're gonna have 11 inches across by 12 down. So set that aside real quick. And then we have this leftover piece here. My Butterfingers. You wanna cut that to where it's 3/4 of an inch. So I want to take that off and then cut this to 11 as well. And that is going to be the handles for our purse there. So before we get scoring, you want to make sure, okay, 11-inch side. So on the 11-inch side, which is this side, you want to score at 2.5. On both those sides. And I'm just going to flip it around. Around like that. And then we're going to turn this over to the 12-inch side. And you're going to see me constantly check myself. And you want to score this at 4 3/4. Turn it around again. And hit that 4 3/4 mark. Okay, and it's that simple to make that box. I'm going to set aside the paper trimmer real quick. And for this right here, you want to grab some decent scissors. A lot of people like to do their scoring first. I don't. I just, it's easier for me to cut it's easier for me to cut this way, whereas seeing like a lot of scores, I feel like I always mess them up. So you want to cut straight up this way, just kind of like a little bit outside that line, because we want it beveled just a teeny tiny bit. So the box folds up easier, or purse, or whatever you want it to be. And then we're going to flip it around and do the same thing to this side here. You don't want too much cut in there. You know, just kind of teeny tiny slivers. Like that. And there we go. Okay, so everything is going to get folded up this way. So that means this is going to go in this way. Flip it over. Okay. And then this really thick tear and tape, that's left over from a paper pumpkin kit a couple months ago. And I'm still using it. You can use glue to adhere this seal if you want. I prefer tear and tape for something like this, especially if you're going to, you know, fill it full of anything, whether it be candy, you know, any kind of gift, whatever you want to put in there. You know, that Bath and Body Works, is that? Yeah, that stuff can get kind of heavy. You know, even candles that you pop in there, or that you could. So, you know, make one yourself because you're going to have some great room in here. Might as well just put that in the middle there. And then I'm going to flip it around. And I know they say that this is tear and tape, but for projects like these, I like my adhesive to go end to end like that and just get a nice, good cut. And for once, I don't feel bad about not talking the entire time. So we're gonna get that popped down. So I'm doing all that. The 4th is coming up. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We got a bunch on the table that we're gonna do, but you know, still kind of winging it. I know a bike ride's gonna get in there somewhere, you know, both kinds. Okay, so everything's gonna go like this, okay? This is gonna go up first, this is gonna go in, and then this is going to go in right here. And so on this side, we have these two, and you wanna flip it over, and then I am just going to mark those real quick, and that is the only place that you need to put tear and tape on this box. Now, when we add the designer series paper, there's a couple different ways that you can cut this, and I'm going to go through that with you in a minute. And this is when I wish I could really speed things up, but okay, what's been going on? Excuse me again, this is July 2nd, and we had new online exclusives go live yesterday. Really cool, by the way. And I know I'm going to be doing painterly pairs with you within the next couple of weeks because I'm just seeing a ton of Christmas in that. So maybe like a little Christmas in July. I sent out a newsletter a few days ago, so be sure to get on that list if you like. And I'll probably have another one sent out pretty soon. And then I think I talked about that turning 62 thing last week. That's been a huge hit with everybody. Thank you so much. I've been keeping up with getting all your packages out. So yeah, keep it up for another 18 days and we're all good, right? Normally I would let that slide, but since it's being folded over, no. So I'm going to add that, and that is going to be it for our box. I mean, a lot of this here is just tear and tape and adhering things and cutting things. And, you know, that's what it's pretty much all about for the most part anyway. Okay, for your designer series paper. Remember, this is still 12 by 12, okay? But I'm going to make sure that I didn't, like, over prep or anything. Okay, it is. Now, when you're putting together your box, okay, you got this going in, this coming up, and then this folding over right there. And this is why I do the tape first. So I know what I'm going to do, and I want to watch my orientation of my designer series paper. Now, there's several different ways that you can do this. You can just put designer series paper on. This is going to be the front, this is going to be the bottom, this is going to be the back. You can just do that if you want, or you can do the sides. You don't have to do anything else because it's going to be folded in. And with this one I did here, I ended up putting everything. I did do the sides, and you can see how it matched up, and the back. I didn't clip these down all the way, and yeah, but normally it doesn't work out like that. Hey, and that's another thing that you can do is you can crisscross these handles if you like. And now I can't get it to come up. Okay, back to what I was saying. So the first thing I want to do is just cut this down to not 11 over here. I know that this center panel here is going to be 6 inches across, okay? You can cut it down to like 5 3/4 if you'd like, to have that 1/4 inch on each side. Or I like to cut mine down to like this, to where it's like 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I just like it better. I mean, it's really up to you. With this one here, it's all designer series paper, so you can't tell the difference. But okay, here's the card, all right? That's going to be a 1/4 inch margin all the way around, and this is going to be 1/8. So, you know, it's a preference. I'm going to do the 1/8 of an inch just because, you know, I want to do the 1/8 of an inch. So from left to right, I want to cut, okay, this is going to be 2 1/2. Then we got 6 and another 2 1/2. And then down this way, this is going to be my first cut. All the way down, that is going to be 12. I'm trying to figure this out with my 1/8 of an inch cut. So let's go to, definitely got to take it down to 11. And I'm going to measure this one more time. Okay. So this side here, that is going to be 2 3/4, okay? So I'm going to cut it down to 2 1/2, and the line in between that's going to be 2 3/8. So I'm going to cut this side down to 2 3/8, and I'm going to keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth because I don't want to mess up. Now, I know that the center panel is going to be 6 inches, so I want to cut down to 5 7/8. And then I know this other panel here, I want to get that at 2 3/8 again, so it all lines up this way. So we got 2 3/8 right there. Okay, and see this leftover piece of designer series paper here and our purse handles, we need this. And I'm going to make sure it's cut down to 11 inches again, you know, just because. And it's not, but this one's okay for me to cut down. I wanted to use that pretty side there. So this measures, well, it doesn't matter what it measures because we're going to cut it down. You want to get 2 strips of 1/2 inch across by 11 inches down. And those are going to be our designer series paper purse handles. So just get all that lined up. And then you don't need this here. And do I want to do the bottom on the, well, you know what, might as well. Okay, so going down, I want this to be 4 5/8. I should have turned the entire thing around, but you know what? I don't do it that way. So 4 5/8, all right? That is going to be, you got the half mark there, and it's going to be in between the 1/2 and the 3/4 mark. Make sure I got all my paper lined up here. And it'll fit in there just perfect for you. I hope you can see it this far down. Okay, we're good. That arm snaps into place, but I hold it just in case. And voila. We've got our panels. And see, they all go. And with this designer series paper here, I mean, that's ideal, but it can go either way, you know, whatever you want it to do. And I'm okay with that. I've learned how to give myself a break a little bit. We don't have to worry about these two down here, okay? But this one here, I do want to measure this panel, because that's going to go like that. So that's going to be 2. We want to do 2 3/8 for this bottom one. I'm going to pop that down right there. And I think, no, I got to cut this one down a little bit. Okay, the top one measures, I mean, it's the same measurements all the way around. Okay, it's going to be 4 5/8. Make sure I'm cutting the right way. And, you know, as always, measurements, everything like that will be over on the blog at Cindy B Designs. And, it's like, I messed that up? No. There's a link directly underneath this YouTube description for that. Okay, so I got to pick up here a little bit because I'm getting kind of combobbled with too much stuff laying on my desk when normally I'd like edit this out. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get this put back together, or put together. Okay, so this is what we are looking like so far. And for this bag, you can use seal adhesive to lay this down, but just to make it quicker, I am going to use some liquid adhesive for this and get this lined up just right. I did do an 1/8 of an inch, so they're going to be tight margins all the way around. But, you know, it's going to turn out just like I showed you at the very beginning. And you want to make sure everything gets down, especially on the corners there. And then you want to line up your left to right edges and top to bottom. So it's all nice and even. And then one more. And see how that designer series paper just lines up beautifully? It's all in the cutting. Whoa. That is something I definitely would have edited out, but you know what happens. Okay, then we're going to get this bottom adhere down. This is the bottom of the bag. Get that all lined up just right. And then let's go ahead and get this bottom panel down. And we are looking good, good, good. And you want to make sure you get that pressed down really nice because you don't want any lumps coming through, so to speak. Okay, so that is it for the bag. Now to put together where's my pokey tool? I'm going to bring in our straps real quick. And I went ahead and put designer series paper, tear and tape on the back just to get them down real quick. You know, because again, a lot of this is just adhering and cutting and putting together, and that's what we do for on every project. But this one's just a little bit more labor intensive. So you want to get that pop down there. Now these, I did the 1/4 inch rather than the 1/8 of an inch margin. You know what? And I just realized that, but who's gonna know? So it's okay. Pull that piece off. And then go ahead and get that lined up. And this you just, want it going right down the center because the length is the same of 11 inches on both of them. Okay, now what I do here is I grab some of that thick tear and tape. And this also helps me, I use the tear and tape as a guideline too as far as, okay, exactly where do I put these straps down in the purse. And I use like the top of the tear and tape to go down in the bottom of the purse. You'll see it when I put it together. And I go ahead and do 2 on each of these. And this is the time-consuming part, getting all this down. Okay, so back to the 62 thing. Again, I really want to thank you guys and keep it coming. I mean, this is great. My floor is clearing up in my office. I really appreciate you guys. You're awesome. Okay, I don't think that's going to hurt me too much by doing that, right? And I'll probably do the same thing next year, but this is where aging doesn't, it's not so bad. It's like you get the benefits without the age. So what's going on with that is, if you spend $62 before taxes and shipping and all that good stuff, you get the same amount of product from my stash, okay? And I'm really good about keeping the sweet collections together in bundles and things like that. So it's not just gonna be this hodgepodge of a million different things that you do nothing with. And then you also get July's Card Club, which is these guys, the Floral Charm ones that we did, lots of colored pencil work. And I got one more strip to put down over here. And then we can start getting this together. Because I know the videos are a little bit longer that I can't edit or speed up, or I don't speed up. I could, but I'm talking rather than doing a voiceover, and it just saves me so much time to the point to where I think next week I can start doing like Wednesday and Saturday videos and just bumping things up a little bit there. I want to get those nice and secure down there with my bone folder. I'm going to keep that out and then pull back in our box. And we're going to start to get this folded up now too. And when you have our cardstock, that's 100 pounds. And then the designer series paper that's, oh gosh, I think it's like 80, somewhere around there. And you have all this weight. It doesn't make it bulky at all. It just really, really solids it up, or, makes it very sturdy. To where you can, put more things in here. So we're getting that down. And we are in the home stretch of this bag, and it is so easy to put together. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is these tabs here. And remember, you can use seal or whatever you want. I just prefer tear and tape. I live in a pretty humid environment, so that's just the better route to go for me. Okay, so you want this right here. You want it to tuck in. Yeah, this is like the weird part. You want to tuck it in under the flap that does not have designer series paper on it, okay? I'm going to pop that right down there. And just get that, adhered down really well. So that's how you figure that out and keep track of that. Because what we're going to do is fold back over the side with designer series paper. top of that side right there. And lay that down. Make sure you have it, butted up against it on the inside. Pop it down, and we are good to go. Now when you fold over these sides here, that is going to make the purse, and this goes towards the back, so that way everything just goes all the way around. Not necessarily this way towards the back, but no one's gonna say, hey, you messed up your paper. It just doesn't work like that. So we're going to pull these 2 off. Might as well get the other 4 off over here. Now see how easy this is to make? And it holds a ton of cards or whatever else you want it to hold. Okay, I'm gonna get it lined up there. And it's really easy to line up too. And as you can see on the inside, it's nice and clean. And then just get that folded up over here on this side. Hello, Bella. She's gonna belch, and you're gonna hear it too, because I just fed her, and I can't believe those burps come out. That little teeny tiny dachshund, huh? Or she's not teeny tiny, she's pretty chunky. Okay, so that is what our purse is looking like. You're sitting all pretty next to me. Okay, now for these, there's really good adhesive on this, okay, but I was thinking of maybe another way to get them down more secure. That still looks pretty cute. And there'll also be still pictures over on the blog of what we've done here today. I'm not going to decorate the front up or anything like that. It's going to be something really simple, pretty much like this for the most part, because this did come from the same sweet collection that we're using today. Just keep it simple, and you can doll this up as much as you want or as little as you want. Okay, so you have this, you have your adhesive, and then you flip it over like that, okay? And then I use the top of my adhesive here as a guide. Just pop it down like that. And then that way it won't pop up on you like it did my other bag, because I didn't do that. Okay, so I'm looking at the top again. And I'm going to pop it right down there. And I want to make sure, is this the front? Okay, that's the back. Yeah, this is the front here. Because you can see actually you can't see because it's so well put together, and it got put together just right this time. So there's that. I'm going to pull these 2 off, and then we are going to be done. And I'll put all the cards back in that other one. Again, well, no, I don't have to, because you know what? You saw at the very beginning what it looked like with the tissue paper and everything like that. But you'll see pictures over on the blog still. So for this one here, I didn't do any measuring or anything like that. I'm just kind of like looking, I'm eyeballing it, to tell you the truth, where I'm placing this. And, it's going to work out. It always does, right? Okay, got that twisted down there. And then I'm checking where my adhesive is and my other handle. And there we go. Isn't that the cutest little thing ever? Okay, yeah, that's the back. And everything just lines up perfectly. Now, if you're not feeling good, I'm feeling good about this. I don't think the adhesive is going to pop off anytime soon. If I was to grab one of my usual clippies or whatever, or one that would fit down there. Let me see if I got one. I'm pretty sure I do. Something like that or whatever. And just keep it on overnight or put a block on it. I'm sure it'd be fine, but it's tear and tape. It's pretty strong stuff. But just in case you aren't feeling good about it, I thought about maybe you can like do this. Sneak your mini stapler in there, okay? And then just angle it, line it up, whatever you want to do. Do that. And then just grab like a glue dot. Pop that on top of right about there. I mean, it doesn't matter where you staple it. You can staple it anywhere you want. If you want your bow up closer to that, or, you know, it is up to you what you want to do. And then you can just pop your bow on. And that look, you know, kind of cute on, very dainty and girly on around all 4 of these here. So I'm going to get this bag decorated up for you. And then, you know, have still pictures and everything like that. And then this is one of my other samples here. And then this is the one with just designer series paper only. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great weekend, and I will see you again next week. Please leave a comment. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Take advantage of everything I'm going on right now. Subscribe to my newsletter. And I will see you again. Hopefully, I'm going to aim for Wednesday, okay? So let's just go ahead and get this Wednesday and Saturday thing going. So again, have a great weekend and be safe.